Hey everyone, Kara here from Well and Wonderful Website Development. I just wanted to pop in here to show you how to update your WordPress website so that way you're not going to run into security issues or get stuck in a bind if you do not have a backup of your website. So when you log into your WordPress dashboard, it looks like this. One of the things that you can do to quickly see what needs to be updated is to come up here to this arrow symbol with the number next to it. Your plugins can also be accessed easily over here. And again, this number illustrates that some of them need to be updated. So if you go this route, you just click here on plugins. And we'll wait for it to load. All right. So here we can see what needs to be updated. So you can go ahead and click through any of these. If you hit update now, it'll update this manually. So you can go through the entire list and hit update now. Your other option is to click on the arrows next to the ones that need updating. And then you can come here to bulk actions, hit update and apply. I'm not going to do that right now because I want to show you the other way to do this, which is simply when you're on your dashboard. Sorry, the recording software makes this a little slow. But when you're on your dashboard, you can come right here to this number. All right, here we are. All right, so when you're here, it's a little bit easier because you can just hit the select all because it only shows the ones that need to be updated. So hit select all. We can update all of our plugins at once. All right. So it's finishing updating that. Wait for it. And you'll find that this takes time on your computer too. It's a little bit slower because I have the recording software going, but either way, it takes a little bit of time to update these things. So here it says they're all successful. This plugin I need to actually get another API key for, so that's why that one's not updating. If a plugin is having an issue updating, it's usually because it might not be compatible with the current version of WordPress, with the current version of your theme, or you might need to pay for it. So in my case, I know that I need to pay for this program again and to get an API key to install. So I'm not going to worry about it. So I'm going to go back up here because it's still showing a 1, and I'm suspecting that means that a theme needs to be updated. And the easiest way to update themes is, again, to go to this arrow. So here it's showing me the plugin that's not updated yet, and here it's showing me the themes. If you have a bunch of themes on your website, you may see more than one here. You only need to update the one that your current website is using. And so I know this is the theme that my website is using. So I'm going to go ahead and update themes. If you don't know what theme your website is using, I'll show you where to find that in a minute. And you can also delete a lot of the themes that you're not using, so you don't have to worry about updating them. You do want to keep 1 or 2, and I'll show you about that in a second once this is done updating. All right, so if you're not sure what theme you're using, you go to Appearance, Themes. And we wait for it to load. Here we go. All right, so here it'll show you what theme is active. So like I said, I knew this one was active already, so I could just go ahead and leave that. And then here are a bunch of themes that I'm not using. So you want to keep at least one of these 2019, 2017. They're good for testing. But for instance, I know I'm not using this theme anytime soon, so I can click on it and down here hit delete. So feel free to delete any themes that are out of date that you're not using. Just make sure that you leave at least one of the 2019, 2017s because they can be useful to test issues with your site at a later time if you ever need to do that. All right, so that is the updating of the plugins and the themes. So for backups, there's a few different ways to do that. The easiest way to do that is to go to have this plugin, all-in-one WP migration, and just hit export. I'm gonna wait for it to get set up here. All right, so here is export. And from here, you can go export to file or export to Dropbox. So file will go to your computer, Dropbox, Google Drive, any of those, you can connect those. It'll export the files of your website directly to those files. those folders. And then if you ever have an issue, you can give those files, I'm assuming you'll probably need to give them to your hosting provider or hire a specialist to upload them. Or what you do is on a new WordPress, so basically if there was an issue and you had a version of your website saved files that you knew worked, you would ask your hosting provider for a new WordPress installation, a fresh one. Just ask them to delete your old website, create a fresh one. And then on your fresh WordPress installation, you're going to want to make sure you install this plugin again, the all-in-one WP migration plugin, except for then you're going to use the import feature. If you hover, you can go back here to import. And you would import your site files, and then your site would be restored. This also has this backups setting here on WP All-in-One. And so you can directly create a backup in here as well. It kind of has a very similar function, but here, that way, if your website itself is still working, you can go ahead and hit restore right here instead of having to do the download and upload. That said, I do think you should make sure that you have the files somewhere so you can download those files. Don't just leave them here, because if you get locked out of your website, if your website completely breaks down, you're not going to have access to this. So make sure you download them. So that's a great plugin to use. That's the one I recommend first because it's the easiest to use. There are a few other ones. So if you wanted to try other backup plugins, I can show you the ones that I like the best. I don't have them on my current website because I don't use them on this one, but I do use them on some client websites. So what you would do is go to add new. And this is where you would go as well if you needed to download the WP All-in-One. So here, like I said, you can type in all-in-one. It will come up with that plugin I was just showing you. So that one's right behind my head here. So for me, it says active. If you didn't have it, it would say install now. It would say install now and activate. So that's that one. Some other ones that I do like are Updraft Plus. That's a good one to create backups that will go to your Dropbox. Usually is a good place to store them. If you don't have Dropbox and even a drive. So this one, Updraft Plus WordPress backup plugin, you can install that one. And the other one is Backup with Pup, and it should come up. Dun-da-da. We'll wait for it. Backup with Pup, this one. So those are the different plugins that you can use. Like I said, the WP All-in-One is a good place to start. The easiest thing to do is to get your hosting provider, do it if that's a service they will provide. Otherwise, the WP or these other options. Actually, they're both here together, Updraft or Back with Pup. Okay, so hopefully that shows you how to keep everything maintained so that you don't have to worry about security issues, your site breaking down or getting slow or wonky. Check back for more updates and tips on how to maintain your site by yourself.